Now, what is your case specifically? What is your case?
Our case, Zanzibar, we had an election on the 25th of October last year. And this election was held as the best election. And all the observers, both internal observers as well as international observers, all of them, their judgment was that this was free, fair, and transparent elections. But to our surprise, the ruling party, CCM, instructed the chairman of the Zanzibar Electoral Commission, or ZEC, who, after all, is an appointee of the president of Zanzibar, CCM member. So they instructed him to nullify the elections, which indeed is against the Zanzibar constitution. It is against the electoral laws of Zanzibar. In both the constitution and the law, there is no section which gives power to the chairman of the commission or the commission itself to nullify elections.
Those are very, very serious charges, really, that you are alleging, because you're talking about Jecha Salim Jecha.
Oh, yes.
My sources tell me he is a retired judge. Is that correct?
No. That is different. Jecha Salim Jecha is not a judge. He has never taken law in his courses. In fact, in the elections of 2010, he was a candidate himself for CCM, but he was defeated in the primaries.
Very interesting. Now, you say, of course, that his move was unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So how come you couldn't, for example, move to the next level? Couldn't you, for example, have had a means of recourse? Couldn't you have gone to the Supreme Court?
Well, you find one thing about Zanzibar courts. They are not independent. And most of the people have no confidence in those courts. And what's
They are
more,
not independent?
Not independent.
But neither is the Zambia Electoral Commission, and yet you were in fact willing to participate in that October 25 election.
Because that is different. Because we had no choice.
You have no choice.
No choice. We had to participate. And after all, in the commission itself, we had two members which were appointed on the recommendations of my party. So at least we knew what was going on there.
Now, when you talk about the Zanzibar Electoral Commission, and you talk about its chairman, of course, Jecha Salim Jecha, did he take that step? Did he annul the election as an individual commissioner, or did he, in fact, consult his fellow commissioners?
No. That is another thing which is very interesting. Because we had elections on the 25th of October. And the results started to come in on the 27th. But while verification or verifying the results, Jecha was playing delaying tactics all the time. Sometimes said that I'm called by this official, I'm called by this leader, which is against, in fact, the ethics of the commission itself, because it's not supposed to be called by anybody. And especially at that crucial time. But Jecha was all times finding the excuse to absent himself. And, these sessions have to be chaired by him. And actually, on the 28th of October last year, 3 days after the elections, and it was the final day when the commission, according to the law, was supposed to give the results. So you find he did not appear at the verification center. He was not seen there. And when his colleagues found that the time is moving, they asked the vice chairman to take over. While the vice chairman was taking over, he was escorted to police. In fact, this is a high court judge. The vice chairman is a high court judge. And just imagine police treating him as just a local man in the streets.
Very interesting.
He was taken to police center, but at the same time, prior to that, the verification center, which was one hotel, was surrounded by the military, completely surrounded, and nobody was allowed to go in, and those who were inside were not allowed to come out.
You're not talking about the Tanzania People's Defense Forces, are you?
I'm talking about Tanzania's People's Forces. And
Commanded by the President of Tanzania?
Commanded by, that time it was Kikwete.
Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete
as the commander-in-chief at that time. And these people could not move without the permission of the commander-in-chief. That is why I said that this was a revolution which was sponsored and spearheaded by Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete.
You're not talking about the revolution back of 1964,
no, it is a silent,
which of course was led by my cousin, Field Marshal John Okello.
Yeah. No, it is a silent revolution. You find these military could not move to surround that sensitive area without the permission of the commander-in-chief.
Now, talking about that, you said that you had no confidence, of course, in the judicial system of Zanzibar. What about politically? Couldn't you, for example, have approached the president of the United Republic of Tanzania, Mr. Jakaya Kikwete, to intervene?
That is very interesting, Shaka. In fact, I tried. I tried and tried and tried.
How did you try?
I, first of all, spoke to his people, his secretary. I wrote letters to him. Jakaya decided to meet me one day before he left office. Then he called me. I presented my case to him.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be surprised. What he said, but what we can do now? I have only 24 hours now before I hand over to President Magufuli. And he said that, you know, Maalim, they are afraid of you.
Who is afraid of you?
CCM.
Why?
And ask the same question. Why are they afraid of me? Say that you will break the union.
In what way?
Exactly what I told.
Did he consider for the fact? Did he consider the fact that in fact you might have won?
What he said is that they are afraid of you. You see? They, which means CCM,
including him,
including
who
CCM,
happens to be the chairman
and the commander-in-chief.
They said Chukua Chako Mapema.
In fact, I asked the same question, Mr. President, are you serious? Because I don't have any forces. I don't have the military. I don't have police. I don't have the intelligence. How can I break this union?